Hello and welcome back to another Maximum Power video. This really is a sort of mini bonus following on from episode 8, our current latest episode, where we're choosing our top five favourite SNES games. Now, one thing that I mentioned quite a bit in that episode is the Super Play Top 100. That, again, has been a blog that's been on our website for quite a while. Do need to update this, but I suppose it's going to be a bit of a video blog really. So here is the Super Play issue in question, which obviously have the top 100. Now, I posted a link to the top 100 in the show notes of episode 8, and at the time it did 41 games, so quite a bit. Some of the games I really like and some not that keen on, but I managed to get another one this week, which is World Masters Golf. Now, not the type of thing I'm really into. I'm trying to think of the last time I actually played a golf game, really. I suppose sensible golf. So anyway, came all in good condition. I think it was like £10 with postage. So obviously it's one that I needed to mark off the top 100. Just quickly pop that over there. So as now I've got to needing 40, so 60% done. Obviously I'm not great at maths, but I can work that one out. I just thought to give a quick update with the things that I've actually still need to get. Now, I've had a quick look just before I started doing this, and I'm thinking, okay, some of these are going to be really, really difficult to find, and some of them quite a bit easier, but then, like I said so many times, the price of Super Nintendo games going up all the time, and the fact that I'm trying to get them boxed as well and complete is obviously going to make things a bit tougher. So I'd want to try and mix it up by finding a few which I can still find quite cheap, like the World Masters Golf, and then a few others which every so often I want to get a few of the big hitters. So just basically having a quick look at the first page here. I'm going to try not to bore everyone to death here. So off the first page, there's the Samurai Spirits, which is a Samurai Showdown. Now, I know you can still get that like on Japanese and things like that, so I think we've got a few options there. Herbirex Popatuto, God, I can't even, Puyo Puyo Pop, basically. Super Puyo Puyo, I should say. And then moving on, a game which I've never seen, I've never ever owned, Dracula Kid, Spike McFang, or Spike McFang aka Dracula Kid. I think things like that are actually going to make it a lot harder to obviously get hold of that game. Also, I've had a quick look through Kiki Kai Kai, which I used to own a very long time ago, which is sort of like a horizontal, no, sort of vertical, sort of like action adventure game really. It's hard to describe really, but I have UK name Pocky and Rocky, which again does cost quite a bit. It's like about £80 to £100, so it's one that's going to set me back quite a bit. Also, there's quite a few of the Proteus games that I still need to get, which is quite surprising because I see things like Proteus on eBay quite a bit, and again the price always stays around the £35–40 mark. So just going to list a few off now. They make a comment on one or two, so still after Super Proteus, Side Pocket, which is obviously a pool game, something I've never really been that bothered about. Xandra's Big Adventure, which is Whirlo, the English name, so that's again another one that costs so much money. I think at the moment that'll probably end up just being one to get, like as an import really. And then again, Ultimate Proteus, so yet another Proteus game. Rampart, which is a strategy game, quite surprised that that's even in there. Another one of the big hitters, Secret of Evermore, a game that I've had before. I just saw Secret of Evermore sell for £70 odd, I think it was yesterday. Then there's World League Basketball. The only basketball game I've ever owned is NBA Jam, which I do actually like. Chaos Engine, which is, well, it's one I actually had cart only on Super Nintendo, called Swords of Fortune. But obviously with it having a PAL release, I think it's about £35–40. I've seen it at things like games events, so hopefully it should be easy enough to get. Ogre Battle, it's another one of those which is going to be quite tough, I think, to get, especially boxed, because we've had a look, it seems to have just been cart only, really. Then you've got Mortal Kombat 2, should be easy enough, but I've never really been too worried about Mortal Kombat games, so I suppose that's why I've not really rushed to get it. And then one that I'm quite surprised about, it's not really been listed on eBay too much, Super Family Tennis, and it also seems to be a Japanese one where it is listed. Another Mortal Kombat then, Mortal Kombat 3, and then moving on a bit, Parodius 3, so that's the third Parodius game, so there's quite a few to get there. R-Type 3, again, this is one of those games that just cost quite a lot of money. Super R-Type, quite a lot easier to get hold of, but I think for R-Type 3 I'm probably looking about, 60–70 quid. I might be out a little bit there, but I know it's costing quite a bit. Civilization, again, it's not the type of game you'd expect on the Super Nintendo, but it does cost quite a lot, it was reviewed in Super Play 41, so quite, near to the end of the Super Play's lifespan. Super Aleste, a game that I've been offered in the past and turned it down before I started collecting this top 100, so yeah, regret that, definitely. Sparkster, again, I had that cart only and got rid of it again before I started collecting this. See, so much regret already. I talk about regretting selling off my retro collection, 10 years back, and now I'm talking about regrets about a year ago. Sparkster's a great platformer though. Don't know if anyone's played Rocket Knight as well on the Mega Drive, but it's definitely worth playing. Micro Machines should be easy enough to get hold of. NHL 96, never really been bothered about the ice hockey games, but there you go, it's on the list. Micro Machines 2, Prince of Persia, again, those ones should be fairly easy. Turtles Tournament Fighters, which price seems to go up quite a bit. I mentioned that before on podcasts that I've done, that it's not a bad fighting game, something a bit different. Still need Super Bomberman 2. I've got 1 and 3. Yeah, 1 and 3 on my shelf. Then there's Bust a Move, which again, quite something that you don't see very often. Might just be a case of just getting it on import, really. And then a game that I've had boxed is up next, Equinox, which is sort of like a 3D isometric RPG type, action RPG type game. I couldn't get into it at all, so I just got rid, and now obviously it's one that I need again. Killer Instinct, still need to pick up as well. Something I'm not too bothered about. I really struggle to spend a lot of time, on a one-on-one fighter. It's alright for about half an hour and then it just gets a bit boring. Now, one of the massive hitters, which I mentioned on the episode, is Earthbound. So I think that's going to be probably the most expensive game, that I still need to get. A good couple of £100. Moving on again, Axley, again, had that cart only, got rid of. I'm not mad on the shoot 'em ups. 1 or 2 jump out, like I mentioned, Pop and Twinbee, which I absolutely love. Moving on a little bit more, F-Zero, quite a surprising one really, because obviously it's a very early game and it's one of those sort of well-known titles for Super Nintendo, but I've still not added it to my collection. Chrono Trigger, I said that's going to be another not a tough one to get really, but it's going to cost a fair bit. Just moving down again a little bit more, Tetris Battlegaiden. Now, like I say, with Super Play, some of these games that they put in the list only came out in Japan, so obviously I do need to do a little bit more research on that and see if there is, a PAL or NTSC version of it. Just moving on a little bit, now in the top 20. Oh god, which one was it? I was getting mixed up. Final Fantasy 2, I still need to get hold of. See, this is why I do need to obviously update my written down list as well, because if I'm out and about at any games events, I don't want to be spending like 100 quid on Final Fantasy 3 just to get back and realise, damn, it was number 2 I needed. I still need to get Doom. Again, got offered that recently, but I just didn't have the cash at the time, which is quite annoying. Moving on a little bit more, Kirby's Avalanche, again another puzzle game, so there's still quite a few puzzle games I need to pick up, and then we get to Super Probotector or Super Contra. Again, mentioned on the podcast, not great at it, but it's something that I do need to obviously add to my collection. And I think that is them all. No, Goemon 2, which is a Legendary Mystical Ninja, you know, like a follow up to that. So those are all of them. Just having a quick look, like with the top 10, I actually own all of those now, which is good to know really, but there's still like 40 that I still need to pick up, so there's still quite a while to go yet. And like I mentioned on the podcast, I'm hoping to see if I can do this by September next year, so it's going to be quite a hard push. I think I can easily get like another 10 and then see where I'm at by the end of the year, hopefully down to, you know, maybe 25 or something. But I don't want to just bankrupt myself, you know, trying to do this. Although when I know that I've still got things like Earthbound to buy, you know, it's definitely going to cost quite a bit. Anyway, that's all from me. If you've listened to the episode, I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, I'll keep you posted obviously with any more pickups, either on Twitter or on the podcast itself as well. So as stated on the video, we've got a lot coming up in the next month. So obviously check out that video as well, which will be next to this one. Anyway, yeah, okay. If you obviously enjoyed the episode, again, leave us an iTunes review, a rating. If you could just spare a couple of minutes, get yourself noticed in the charts, something which, my God, I really, really did notice when we hit number 4, which was absolutely amazing, you know. Anyway, that's all from me. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.